up with that?
I don't know. I woke up that way. I didn't do anything.
Oh man, I know I did that. Remember my neck?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, I was whining about that for like a week or so.
Gosh.
Anyway, so I'm dead tired, man. I drove in from Mexico. I'll talk a little bit
Show's
about
over, guys.
that. Yeah, show's over, man. We're going to watch the game. But there's a lot going on again this week. Wintertime, sometimes like when I'm thinking about the morning briefing, when it's like full speed and there's so much material,
Yeah.
I go, what am I going to talk about this winter? And I never run out of it, stuff to talk about. I always have something to talk about. We have wintertime bass. We talked to the Red Rooster 3. I can talk a little bit about what Andy said today. That was fun. The long range scene down on Hurricane Bank has been fantastic. The local sand and calico bass by. We've got halibut derbies like on the Native Sun coming up. We've got some great surf fishing.
Show's coming up.
The big show is coming up. I came in here today and it just looked different with all the rods and plastic bags and everything. I go, what the heck is going on? That looks like a lot of work.
Yeah.
You getting ready for the show,
Getting ready for the show.
What's your booth going to be like when we're talking? The Bart Hall show at the Long Beach Convention Center will be there. Well, Sam will be there, but I'll be bouncing around his booth January 25th through the 28th. Mm-hmm. What do you have planned at the show for everybody?
Well, I mean, kind of status quo as far as us being there. We've been there the last 10 years with under Island Fishing Tqckle, and we've been pretty much having a bigger and bigger booth every year. I think this year is going to be just as big as last year, which has been our biggest booth that we've ever had last year. So I think we're 20 by 50 or something like that. It's a giant booth. Yeah. And so 20 by 60. Yeah, it's big. So
is that Toy guy going to be back?
No, not this year. No, yeah.
He was a cool guy.
Yeah, he was cool.
What's his first name?
Warren.
Warren Toy.
Warren,
yeah, right.
Yeah, I think this year, one thing we'll have the same here is going to be AFCO is going to be in our booth. From what I understand, we still got that going on. But just the same thing. Having a lot of great deals. The difference this year, kind of the common question that I get is people asking me like, oh, like, is it worth it to go? This kind of thing like that. And so one of the things I will say is that this year is going to be the first show is that some things that maybe are not that easy to get, like let's say CalStar blanks or things that are kind of been running on low supply, although there hasn't been as much things like that as there was a couple of years ago, but there's still some things like that are in that same category. As I would say that we're going to have the best selection at the first show because it's the first show, and then
you start running out of stuff,
right? So some things we probably won't. It seems like everybody is pretty good, like as far as we have a bunch of Mad Max. Our hook selection seems to be pretty good. We shouldn't run out of anything there. Knife jigs, fluorocarbon, surface irons, all that kind of stuff. I think we're in pretty good supply, but just like anything else, all of a sudden something gets hot and everybody's buying it up. And even though we might have every kind of category covered, we might be out of like size 4 hooks or something like that. The really, really super hot stuff. And it's weird sometimes that way that happens is that you would think you're going to sell a bunch and you don't sell that much. And then sometimes you take a lot, but you're like, wow, we sold way more than we thought,
Yeah.
All of a sudden we're out of 20-pound fluorocarbon or something like that, So, so things like that might show themselves a little bit at the last show for us because we're going to do all 3. I think a lot of shops are only going to do 2, but or 1 show. So, but we're doing all 3. So for our booth in particular, that are doing all 3 shows, that'd probably be the biggest thing as well.
And the 3 shows are?
Yeah, so it's going to be Bart Hall, Long Beach, and then Bart Hall at Del Mar Fairgrounds, and then the PCS show at the Orange County Fairgrounds.
And the one thing I think people make a mistake on those shows is some people seem to want to like choose one over the other.
Yeah.
Just go to them all.
Yeah, I would say.
You can go to one, either Del Mar or Long Beach, and then go to the PCF show, right?
I mean, the Del Mar show being so far away geographically still kind of is a kind of standalone show and as far as that because, a guy from LA is probably not going to drive down there and a guy from San Diego might not come to LA. But as far as the LA, Orange County, they're close enough because one's in Long Beach and one's in Costa Mesa that a lot of guys will make the choice between those 2. But, I still think that they're not right on top of each other. They're like 2 months away difference. I don't think you're going to get tired of shows, in that respect. It isn't like you're going to be going to every single day. You just go one day. But they are different, they are different. And I think it's kind of cool to go to both. I mean, the Hall show is the classic show. It's been there forever. They got a lot of things that they've been doing for a lot of years that are just kind of like unique to it. I mean, I know for for me, in one way or another, I've been involved in either attending the show as a patron or working there, for the last 30 years. So to me, I feel like no matter whether I was working at the shop here or not, I'd be going anyway.
Yeah, right.
Just one of those things. It just seems silly almost not to go. 'cause
Exactly.
I would almost guarantee that if I didn't go, I'd probably be at home doing nothing anyway.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, I don't really see a real good reason not to go.
Right, and if just so happens that there's a few less booths, Bart's getting back in the game.
Yeah.
Every year is better. Who cares? You get to see all your buddies. You get
Yeah.
to see, and BS with you for a little while,
Right.
and it's all good, man.
Yeah,
There's an electricity in the air. It's so
For
much
sure.
fun. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, for sure. And I think that's what ends up happening is that guys go back and forth where they're going to go, not go, go, not go, and then they'll see the reports. Everybody posts, like on Instagram or whatever. Oh, I came to the show and I found this great deal, and all of a sudden people are like, oh man, I got to go. I
wish I would have been good. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I wish I would have went. That kind of thing. So, it always happens like that every year. Everyone kind of like second thinks it. But just go, man. I mean, go to the shows. We really don't have a lot going on locally fishing wise that's going to get in the way of it.
Right.
It isn't like you have a 5-day trip or a 3-day trip that you got going on that time of year. I'd say go.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have a huge booth, so it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, giant booth for us. So we're gonna have a great time. You're gonna find some great deals. But even past that, seminars, things like that. I mean, Brian Wynn's doing that jigging seminar. He's doing it every day at 2:00. I think for the guys that are wanting to learn more about that, you're going to be able to get a kind of hands-on in-person seminar.
Yep.
Which is
Brian's
huge
the best
because he puts on a pretty good seminar, and obviously you'll be able to ask him questions. So if it was me, I would probably watch all of his videos, go down there, prepare with some questions, and get that kind of dialed in. And we're going to have some jigging rods and some stuff for that too. I'm sure the other booths are going to have that. I think Bob Sands is going to be there too, so they'll probably have some jigging stuff too. And I think it's just kind of important to come into the season, as best equipped, and that's one of the reasons that we would go to the shows, is try to see what's new.
Yeah.
In this case, it's not new; it's been around, but it's kind of for a lot of people, it's new to them. And so if you can go down there and get exposed to that, I think that'd be a good deal, even just for that alone, for that seminar. It's kind of worth it.
Yeah, I think you're trying to make work for me. I'm thinking in my head now, I should get all of Brian's podcasts together and post them tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so it's easy for everybody, and then they can go through them.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll throw up some Todd Wood stuff. Todd's going to be there.
Yeah.
And of course, Dave Crazy Hansen.
Yeah.
He's going to be there. I got some crazy podcasts with him too.
He's a cool seminar.
He's an entertainer.
Yeah,
You'll learn and have fun.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of other guys that we're not even mentioning.
Yeah, that's just people off the top of my head. Yeah.
Scott Bucher puts on one heck of a show. Have you ever seen his seminar?
He just put on the show.
Yeah.
And don't be saying nothing bad about Scott. He's a great guy.
He is a great guy.
Yes.
We'll get to that in one moment. I'll tell you that right now. We love Scott Bucher. You want to read some comments?
Let's catch up here. Yeah.
Happy MLK Day to everybody out there, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
We should say that. And Martin Luther King, my favorite quote by him is, don't judge a person by the color of their skin, but the content of their character. And I know you agree with me on that one. So one downside about Sam's booth at the show, he'll probably kill me for saying this, but I will be there a few times. So you can just go in the other direction if you want. All right, Turbo T2 says, perfect timing, great entertainment. He said good entertainment. I juiced it up a little bit. While I'm snowed and stuck inside. All right, stay dry. And the reason why, no, this is not the reason why Sam loves Scott Bucher, but it's one reason why. $20.
No, 30, 20, then 10.
No, wait a minute. $40, right?
Them.
Oh, he retracted that one.
Oh.
Okay, yes. So, what's 19 plus 9?
It's 20. It's $30.
$30. You're 20. $30 from Scott Bucher.
Boucher.
I got it all. Boucher. Scott, thank you so very much. I don't care what Sam says about you. I love you. And he'll be on the 5-day trip on the Independence with us.
Yep.
April 4th through the 9th. You too can join us. And the 8-day trip is sold out. Scott is on that one. He wonders why you won't go. In fact, Scott says...
Bad shoulder. I don't know what's going on.
He says, have Sam go on one of your trips, and we can go on one of Sam's trip on the Royal Star.
It's a lot of we, huh?
That's assuming Sam would invite us, Scott. I don't think that's going to happen. Good idea. Hey, Dan Smith, we love you, Dan. Kim, hello, Sam, Phil, and the Friedman Adventures family. It is a cool, calm night, just right for a great show with great fishing. Folks, blessed I am. We are blessed to have you with us. And Scott Bucher, whatever it is loading us up with the super chats tonight. We appreciate you. Sam and I are going to be able to go out and eat wings here pretty soon again. Chris Navarro, good evening, Phil and Sam. I am Christopher Good to see you here. Travis Bright. Bob Gifford was talking about you, Travis. He's saying, don't give up hope on that 5-day trip. We still can get you out there on that trip. And I'll be sending you my charter list real soon. Maybe you can get on that 2.5 day. We're going to do a reverse 2.5 day in June out of 22nd Street on the beautiful Apollo. That sounds,
That's cool.
Jeff
right
came in my office and we were BSing about some other stuff. And so I go, well, what do you think? He goes, if the bluefin are biting, you'll be there for the night bite. If there's a sea bass bite in the Channel Islands, we're there to make squid and get alpha position. And so that reverse, leaving at 10 a.m., really opens up some new doors. A lot of guys do those now. And man, I'm excited about that one. That's going to be in June. Travis, good to see you. Antonio says the best lobster juice. What is it? It's at La Guarita in Rosarito Beach. Man, was that good last night. I had that campechana. Oh my God, con el pulpo y camarones, and oh my God. Tony was laughing, the owner of the place. He goes, you order that for breakfast when you come in here. I do. I defer to you for the answer.
So the bug juice here, let's see.
You're going to go get it?
Yeah, let me get it real quick.
Hey, and I mentioned that trip we have coming up on board the Independence, everybody. You can join us. We'd love you to. It's April 4th through the 9th. 5 days, $2,100. Independent. She is gorgeous. Beautiful boat. You'll have a lot of fun. IndependentSportfishing.com. Give them a call tomorrow. Get some more information. Sam, I am.
Yeah. So it's the same stuff here. So I brought 2 bottles of because it used to be labeled as this here, which was the new fish oil, pure fish oil deal here. And then now it's the Oromar bug juice. And so it's basically fish oil is what it is. And what you're going to do with this is add it to your bait that you got in your bait cage or bait tube for fish and lobster. So that's what you want to do with that there. It's pretty simple. You're not using it by itself, although some people they've told me that they'll put it like on a towel and you put that inside your bait
that
cage.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's basically the scent's going to get to them and they're going to come in and try to sniff it out. But most people just throw it in there with like.
Have you ever opened this and smelled it?
Yeah, it doesn't smell too bad. It's just like fish oil.
Can I open?
Yeah. It's not bad.
I don't want to spill it.
It's not good. Like, you're not going to drink it, but like, oh man, look at this stuff. But
it does. Yeah, it's all right. It smells like fish.
It smells like fish. Yeah.
What does it smell like? It smells like something else. I don't know.
You know what it reminds me of?
What?
It reminds
There's
me of
something.
1980s, like what it used to smell like on the pier.
Kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that kind of feel.
Maybe it is that kind of
Yeah.
retro. Like,
Yeah, that's what it smells like to me.
yeah.
Like, I'm not sure.
It smells like something familiar. Let's put it that
Yes,
way.
you smelled this before, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. But
Let's
that's
see.
what it's like something that you used
Is
to
that
smell.
like Scott when he doesn't use deodorant?
It could be. It could
Yeah,
be.
no.
Let me go wash my hands now.
You got screwed by it, huh? All right, there it is. There's your best lobster juice, Antonio. Thank you for joining us. Jaime Fernandez says, we don't need the NFL, just you two guys makes my day. You have no idea how much we appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. I'm a Raiders fan, so I'm into next season. Like me, Notre Dame fan, man. I was out, not watching national championship games or anything. Enjoy the wings. Greg Buchert. I think Scott gets a hold of his dad's account somehow and sends some money that way. But we don't want to ask too many questions about that. But that's actually Scott, and thank you so much. And he's sending along $1.99 for our ranch dressing, and we really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Jaime, really, really, really appreciate you and your kind words, my friend, and the ranch dressing for that matter. Sam, do you get the ranch dressing? Or yeah, you do, right?
Yeah.
We get a ranch and a blue cheese usually.
Ranch, yeah.
Yeah. All right, we mix it up. Robert Graber, good evening, Phil and Sam. Happy MLK Day, absolutely. Daniel Lightfoot, hey, Phil, this is Michael. I caught 2 sand bass on the Monte Carlo on size 4 hooks and a 1/2 ounce egg weight. Michael Limon, if you remember, last week I complained about Grandpa. I said he sends me this information and never tells me how. And look at how Michael has learned now and spit out all the information. Nice going. But Michael, where are you? You and your grandpa should be here tonight, man. Right?
Come on down.
Yeah.
When's it coming?
Maybe they're on their way. That would be
School
nice.
night, maybe.
Yeah, it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Very, very good. Daniel Llanos. Hello, Phil and Sam. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, and Martin Luther King Day. Thank you so much, Daniel. Great to see you here. Steve says, if any viewer is interested, we have open spots for our 6-day Cedros trip in September. the 3rd through the 8th with Cedro Sport Fishing. Of course, Steve works here, and he's a great guy. I love Steve.
Yeah, so one of the things that why he's bringing that up is that the shows are coming up, and so a lot of times those spots will get filled at the show. So if you guys are interested, just call down Cedro Sport Fishing and talk to Rosie and get your name on the list. But otherwise, go down to the show and talk to her there. But it'd be a great time. It's one of the other things you want to do to the shows. You go to the first show, you might have let's say 50 or 60 spots available for the whole year. You get to the last show, there might be like 9 or 10 spots available for the whole year. So booking these trips, especially for Cedro, so they're pretty limited because they can't really just add a trip to the schedule. They, the way that the flights work, they can only take on so many people every year. So I definitely would go down there and talk to her about that for sure.
All right, very good. Sean Sarkisian, who's a great friend and great family member, says, good evening, Phil and Sam. Welcome back from Mexico Lindo. Phil, January 21st, we'll be at his place, La Fogata in Sherman Oaks, California. You got some excuse, right? You're not coming.
Yeah.
Oh, you do actually, though. Yeah, you are doing
Got something else going on.
1 to 3 in the afternoon. We'll see you there, Sean. Can't wait to do that, my friend. It's great to see you here. And all of you are invited. La Fogata, Sunday, January 21st, 1 to 3 p.m. I'll have our charter list. We can hang together. We'll have a really, really good time. And since Sam won't be there, we can talk all kinds of spit about him. So there. How's that? All right. Rob S. says, Phil, the Baja Coast Guide, let's get on a trip. Well, Rob, I'm going to talk to Sam right now, but I'm talking to you and everybody out there. Dude, so Diego Nuno, your good friend, he meets me at the San Nicolas Hotel in Ensenada. I usually stay there. I like that place. And the owner of the place, Nicholas Saad, I haven't seen him for years, but I used to know him pretty well. And dude, I was looking at the menu. My carnivore went completely down the drain. They had this surf and turf burger, and I'm looking at it, I go, man, that sounds good. And it was a freaking hand-pressed, beautiful burger, quality beef you could taste, a huge amount of shrimp, bacon-wrapped, with these caramelized onions and this freaking, beautiful bun, and I took one bite of that. I thought I died and gone to heaven. Honest to God. Greg Bates ate it. And then like 3 hours later, he goes, I think I'm going to go back and have another one.
Another one, really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Anyway, back to Diego Nuno. Yeah. Diego shows up with another guy. This guy, I'm looking at him. I'm going, how do I know this guy? And he goes, I brought my amigo. And I'm going, oh, great. Really nice guy. I can't remember his name right now for some reason. But anyway, he was in a video where the guy from Blackfin and him were catching these giant barred perch, and I put it up on the morning briefing. And they had those, and they were catching them on Lucky Crafts. And in that video, they go, Viva la Cueva de Guana, or whatever it was. And I'm like, hey, where is that? I asked Diego. And I go, dude, do you know is that where you're fishing? He goes, yeah, I'll take you there. So in the next, God, you should go. In the next 2 weeks, Diego, this guy, myself, maybe Greg, Tony Lozano from La Guarita restaurant wants to go. We're going to go there and fish those things. And then, Rob, I'm circling back to you. We'll check it out, and then that will be our trip, man. We'll go down there. 3-pounders, man.
Yeah,
full
I saw
speed.
The pictures. Yeah.
Yeah, biting the Lucky Crab. And awesome. So it was bitching. I mean, talk about just like everything coming together.
Man, it's so tough for me with the shows coming up.
My God, that's right.
I keep forgetting that.
Damn. Well, you know what?
But sounds like a great idea.
We can check it out, and then we'll go once we get through all the shows and everything, right? Yeah. But, man, it looks really, really good. Carlos Mosquera, Carlos, good evening, gentlemen. Looking forward to a great show. Sam, will you be bringing rod building components such as threading guides to the shows?
Yeah, definitely. That's
Carlos,
one of the
good
things
to see
that we've always tried to bring to the shows because it offers something different. All the booths are going to have some fluorocarbon and hooks and rods and reels, which is good. But we try to bring something different, and the thing that we bring that's different is the rod building component. So I can't promise you that we're going to bring every single guide that we have in the shop here, but we do have a pretty good representation of what we sell a lot of. And some of those guide sets here will have it a good deal, our grips, reel seats, and definitely our thread. We do sell quite a bit of thread at the show just because it gives you a chance to kind of see it all in one place, and also you get a little bit of a discount there. So yeah, definitely, Carlos, come on down, and it should be a good reason to come down and buy some stuff.
Carlos, great to see you here, my friend. Patrick Hornjack up there in Montana says, what is in the Accurate box. What
It
is going on with the
is-
Accurate box? Why do you have that there?
Well,
Accurate's getting some free advertising tonight.
yeah. So it's basically just to hold my phone up here, but it's a great accurate reel. This is a Boss Valiant 600, is what it is. Yeah. So you win the accurate reel, no. But yeah, no, it's just to hold the phone up. But before I was putting up just a random box, so I figured, well, why not put a fishing item up here? So this week it's accurate. Last week it was pen. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, I do remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
Next week will be something else.
We'll take it. Labwork says, afternoon from Australia.
Wow,
How's that,
that's cool.
man? That is very cool. Thank you for joining us. It's
That's
really,
the place I'd want to go too.
yeah, heck yeah. I've done it.
They've got those yellowtail over there, right? So they
yeah,
got
those giant ones.
Giant ones.
Yeah.
But every day I'll watch a video. A couple of videos of those guys catching them. They catch them on like surface lures.
Right.
So my dream would be to go take a jig stick down there, or even fish with the local rod and reel or whatever. But take a jig stick with some surface iron and some Tatty 45s.
Oh my God.
It'd be just kind of like a cool experience.
Have an 80-pounder blowout on
yeah,
your jig.
yeah, it'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. All right. Thank you so much. It's great to see you there. Tony says, hey, good evening, everyone. Phil, do you have any charter trips on the Endeavor for white sea bass this year? Still putting the list together. We definitely will have one, Tony. I know I've been a little bit delayed on this, but give me like till 2026 and I'll have this year's charters all taken care of. I'll get them in the next couple of days. I promise you. I know I've been saying that a lot, but I'll take care of that for you. Daniel Lightfoot says whole skid.
Squid.
Thank you, Daniel.
Oh,
yes,
skid.
I know.
Oh, skid.
Squid. Yes, skid. Thank you very much. See, he heard that dig, and
Yeah.
now he threw in another
Well,
piece
maybe
of
it was
information.
cut squid. He took
Yes.
out the U.
Yeah, really. Dan, you're getting raked over the coals there. Hello, McFly says hello to everybody here. It's good to see
That's a cool
you.
name right there, huh?
Yeah, it is, man. He's on here a lot, man. Thank you so much for your support. Jaime Fernandez, what rod would you choose between a UC Tilefish Junior Phoenix Hybrid or Seeker Tack 80 and 20 to 60 pound braid line glass, senor?
All great rods. I mean, that UC Tilefish, I think, is the one that they make as a 30 to 80, well, maybe 20 to 60 would be the Tilefish Junior and the GP. That Tilefish Junior is pretty nice. I gotta say that's kind of one of my favorite rods. But that Tack 80 isn't too bad either. A little bit heavier physically, that Tack 80 maybe. And then that Phoenix Hybrid, one of the things that they have that's nice is they use SIC guide, so they got a little bit nicer guide train. But probably my number one would be the UC, then the Seeker, then the Phoenix. But they're all pretty close. I mean, not one of them is going to be really low on that list for sure. Those are all great rods.
Hey, make sure you hit that like button. We deeply appreciate when you do that. You can share this with a friend right now. Hit the share button, and you can send them a link. Tick the bell. You'll be notified when there's new content, and subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. Hey, there's very few questions left. We might be able
Time
to
for
bolt
dinner.
and go see the game. We don't want to do that too early here. Oh, my God.
You can think of something.
Huh?
You can think of something.
Yeah, really. Oh, definitely. No problem with that at all. And we have so many wonderful people tonight joining us. Rob S., any good surf fishing rigs and rod length, reel spinner, or bait caster?
So first, I'd say spinner.
Absolutely.
For sure, yeah. Especially with those Lucky Crafts. They're so lightweight, really kind of not that easy to cast with a bait caster. And sometimes you cast it into the wind a little bit too because you have an oncoming wind.
Yes.
As far as your rods, I would say 8 to 10 foot.
Yep.
With the longer, probably be more preferred. 9 foot, probably
Absolutely.
be the sweet spot there. But anything 8 to 10 foot would be good. If you're going to be going down to Baja, though, I'd probably go with a slightly larger setup, maybe something in like, whereas locally here, you might throw like a 6 to 12 or 8 to 17. For down there, you might consider something a little heavier because those barred perch are just giant,
Yeah, man. They're over 3 pounds, a lot of them.
Also, too, down there, a lot of times you get into some areas where there's like a bunch of halibut, too.
Yes.
So, it's just bigger game, basically, down there. So you'd probably be into something that, at least on the low end, be an 8 to 17, and then on the high end, maybe a 10 to 20 or something like that on the rod. But like I said, longer, like 9 footer will probably be about right. Yeah, spinning, and that's the other part of it.
You remember Captain Frank Savino? He ran the
Yeah.
Enterprise, and he's still a very good friend of mine. He was living in Baja for a while. There was a beach he used to call Variety Beach. I think he gave it that name.
Yeah.
They filled 3 ice chests full of yellowfin croaker, corbina, incredible. A couple hundred miles down, quite a bit further than you would think. But man, and they, just so you know, they dropped all that fish off at an orphanage, so they took care of people down there. But God, the surf fishing down there can be
Yeah.
so good.
That's basically, Nacho, that the rod builder that comes through here.
Yeah,
So he goes down there to Ensenada a few times a year, and yeah, it's a load 'em up trip. I mean, they go down there, him and a couple buddies, and they'll load up one cooler between all of them, but yeah, he said it's pretty easy. It's the hardest thing sometimes is you get to where maybe it gets windy for a couple days and you just can't fish, but if they can cast, if they can get a lucky craft in the water, it's game on.
you're getting bit.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah.
game on. So it's really good fishing for sure.
So Greg Bates hasn't been to Mexico since 1985, and the minute he told everybody he was going with me, they're telling me he's going to get his head cut off and everything else. It literally took about 10 minutes of being there. Like, he's like, wait a minute.
What's the big deal? Yeah.
What's going on? This is exactly the opposite of what everybody told me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's with me, I've driven down there for 50 years. That's with me getting lost. I still get,
Yeah.
shoot, I'm going toward Tijuana. I want to go toward Ensenada and the
Yeah.
wine country. And so, we're pulling over and asking people for directions, and people are so polite and nice and helpful. And yeah, it took about 2 seconds. I will tell you this, though, Sam, and Diego noticed it. And I don't think I outed Greg this morning in the morning briefing. I don't know if you heard, but we went into a woman's house that was really bad, horrible. Like, you can't imagine somebody living in there. And we donated a bunch of stuff to her. There was a gentleman there named Guillermo, really super nice guy. Took care of him. But Greg came in and filmed inside when I was dropping off some stuff. And then when he was back in the car, we started driving away, and Diego goes, he's llorando. And he was crying. And I go, hey, what's up? And he goes, man, that's awful that people have to live that way. And so it really hit him. And Diego said to me privately, he said, I'm glad you bring new people down here so they can see that Mexico's safe, number one, and number two, that it's nice to help people once in a while.
Yeah.
It made a huge impact on them. So
Yeah. No, I'm sure.
unless you want to say crybaby.
No, Greg seems to be kind of that kind of guy.
Yeah, he is. He's got a heart of gold.
He's got a big heart, and I think anybody who goes down there who maybe hasn't seen that, that kind of lifestyle that people, have to live. I mean, these people are just surviving. And sometimes I think too, he probably, I haven't talked to Greg, but I would imagine part of it too, you start thinking about, the things you kind of give a lot of weight to in your life, and maybe things that you complain about, you just think to yourself,
Yeah, exactly.
oh my gosh, who am I to, complain? These guys are really struggling down here. And not only are they struggling, they're kind of happy, you're just like,
I know.
in comparison to your struggles, right? And how bad you think your life may be. And you're like, who am I to complain? These guys are living every day. It isn't like they had a bad week. This is just their lifestyle, so.
And what you just said is true. Happy.
Yeah.
Everybody seems happy.
Yeah, they're not like pissed off about it or like, oh man, I had a bad break. They're like, this is my life and I survive and this is what I do. And,
Yep.
And they choose to look at the bright side of life, and make the best of it, like we all are supposed to do. We all say we do, but really, I think that they really show that maybe, they humble you by showing you that you can do a lot more, not for them, but maybe for yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I think I'm assuming, without speaking to Greg, that maybe some of the emotions that he must have had at that moment.
Yeah, definitely. I remember a priest telling me when I was in Costa Rica donating a year down there, he said, these people here are going to teach you way more than you're going to teach them. You're going to learn a lot more from them. Just keep that in mind, kid. And I said, okay, Father.
You're like,
He was
whatever,
right.
then you're right.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, what are you talking about,
Yeah.
man? All my friends are back in the U.S. partying, and I'm stuck down here in the seminary with you guys. What the hell? All right, Ray S. Hey, Ray.
Hey,
Ray sent $10. Ray,
Woo.
very, very much appreciated. Thank you so much. Phil, Sam, always enjoy your show and look forward to meeting you in Long Beach. Ray S. in Temecula. Thank you so much, Ray. Hopefully it'll be one of the days when I am there. I would love to meet you, my friend, and we deeply appreciate you sending that along. Thank you
Well, you're going to
so
be there every day,
very
right?
much. Yeah, yeah, I am. I have a friend who passed away, a younger guy too. I won't get into what, but I have to go to that funeral. But it's one of those days. But
Okay.
yeah, I'll work around.
Come on down, man.
Yeah,
Come on
absolutely. Carlos Mosquera sends us $20.
Carlos.
We're going to the prime rib house
Yeah.
tonight, man. Screw the chicken wings. By the way, SoCal Wings, right next door to us here in Carson. If you want to join us, Sam and I should be over there. I'm going with 7:45.
That'd probably be the latest, yeah.
Yeah, 7:30.
If
Yeah.
not, maybe we'll go to that doghouse.
Is it good?
Yeah, you haven't tried it yet.
What?
But it may not fit with your diet. It's more of a hamburger and hot dog place.
Yeah, I know. I've been screwed up.
Pretty
on
good
my-
though.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, we
see.
got to let everybody know.
I know. We'll see. Well,
Okay.
if you want to go there, we can try that.
Do they have games on the TVs and stuff?
I don't think so. Yeah, they have one game. They have one TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a smaller place.
Yeah.
It's pretty good though.
It's up to you. You
Okay.
make the call.
Okay. Well, if you want to try something different.
We'll make the call in 10 minutes.
Okay.
All right. We'll take it. You can chime in.
I've had them both, so I'm good with either one. It's
Okay.
just whether you want to try something.
Yeah, I know. I'm all about trying something
Yeah,
different.
yeah.
Do they happen to have a caramelized onion wrapped in bacon, shrimp?
They might. I don't know.
My son Philip's going to be in Ensenada this coming weekend. I specifically remember we were in China at a Burger King, and he comes over to me. I was like talking to Patrick or doing something. He goes, "Dad, this is the best freaking hamburger I've ever had in my life." I go, "What the hell is it?" And he goes, "It's got shrimp on it." And
In China?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because they have the regular Burger King stuff. So if you're dying for a Western meal,
Yeah.
like back home kind of meal, you can get it.
Okay.
But they also kind
Local.
of, they do a local version of
Interesting.
everything. Yeah, the Kentucky Fried Chicken did all kinds of local stuff, and it was great. But anyway, Carlos, $20. Thank you so very, very, very much. We really, really appreciate you very, very much. He says, thanks, you guys, for taking time off your lives for all of us. Man, thank you very, very much. We really, really appreciate it. Raul, what's up, guys? Sam. So I have a CP 80th and 80H. Excuse me. CP 80H. You're going to make me sound like I know what I'm talking about here. And want your expertise on what reel to pair it with. Of course, it's an 80H. What's wrong with you? I thought it was his 80th birthday or something. Yeah.
So something like that. I mean, you can fish pretty heavy line. I know that rod. I'm trying to remember the rating on it. I think it's like a 30 to 60, maybe a 40 to 80 or something like that. But definitely on the heavier end for that thing. Those CP rods are kind of known for being a little bit stouter, and so you're going to be into something like maybe a Torque 40 narrow, Fathom 40 narrow, that kind of size. Maybe a Macara 15T, Saltwater 50, maybe like a Talica 16. Something about that size. Maybe a HX or a Avid HX or a something like this here that Accurate 600. Actually, this might be a really good pairing, depending on how you had that rod built. Some of those guys that make those rods, they build them super light, kind of like small profile. A reel like this might be kind of nice. So also depends on how you built the rod up. If you built it up a little bit heavier duty with maybe a rail rod grip or something like that, maybe you might think about putting like an Avid or maybe like that Macara 15T. So a couple choices for you.
All right, good stuff. Hey, Andy Cates joined us from the Red Rooster 3. At the end of this show, you can go back and watch that live broadcast. You were watching a little bit when the alarms were going on.
Yeah. I was like, what the heck's going on there? I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah, because he goes, oh, my door, and he ran away the one time, and then he goes, uh-oh, hang on, everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
well, not only that, he was saying that they were coming into like a shallow passing or something like that, and then the alarm started going off. I'm like, uh-oh. What am I watching here? Like, cut it, Phil, cut it.
Yeah, really. Let it roll, let it roll.
No.
Anyway, go back and watch that. Andy talks about how fishing's been down on Hurricane Bank. It's been extraordinary, but also he's got these great Riviera cruise trips.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that?
I heard him talking about it on Let's Talk Hookup, I think.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, but it sounds awesome. I mean, it's kind of like a husband-wife type experience, where you get down there.
I could see myself going with Scott on that.
Yeah. So he'd pay for the chicken wings for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But it sounds like a cool experience. I mean, Baja is one of those places that just has so much to offer in the way of a tourism type experience, but really no way to get there. You know, I mean, you could drive down there, but and I think that what you do is you fly down and you catch the boat.
You do. You go to Laredo or La Paz.
Yeah, and you catch the boat in Mac Bay or something like that. But man, that just sounds
San
incredible.
Carlos or whatever.
Yeah. It just sounds like it's extraordinary. You're going to see some things that you wouldn't see anywhere else. I mean, Baja just has some of those places like that are ecologically just so different than anywhere else that I think that's what he's bringing the experience to.
Yeah, he said that they anchor in the bay at night because if they drove around, they'd hit too many whales. Yeah. So when they anchor at night, all you hear at night is,
wow.
You hear that going. He says they come up and scratch their back on the boat. You can, hear that going on. And how cool is that?
Man, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know that they have those like whale watching excursions down there where you go on those rib boats, those inflatable boats or whatever. Yeah. So, I mean, it's definitely a place that's known for that, but I don't know of any other large vessel that provides that type of experience.
Yeah, right.
And you're in luxury. those other boats, I'm pretty sure you come back to a hotel and it's nice.
Yeah.
But it's a little different when you get to stay on the boat and you get to have that, that experience. It sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, you got the great food, you got the great accommodations. He's got a masseuse on there.
Yes, I heard about that too. That's crazy. Yeah,
I was ready to sign up right there. Yeah,
I think they take like these like long hikes and things like that. So
they do. They do.
So it's a physically demanding type thing. If you wanted to, you don't have to do that. You can stay on the boat
Yeah.
or whatever. But
And he's totally into having people meet the locals and
Yeah.
feel kind of Mexico.
Yeah.
Not smaller town, which is big. You know as well as
Yeah,
I.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
totally a different
Oh,
experience.
for sure. Yeah, for sure. Especially way down there in Baja,
Dude, did you
Pretty
hear
cool.
the oyster story he told?
Mm-mm.
He went and found an
Oh,
oyster
yeah.
farm. He bought like 250 oysters for $50.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they just sat and ate oysters and drank beer and watched the sunset and just sounded great.
Yeah, it sounds like, it'd be the only way to do something like that in that type of experience when you're on a boat of that high quality. You have to be like a multi-millionaire. You'd have to have a super yacht or whatever. I'm sure there's people who do that too.
Yeah.
But that's almost the level of experience that you're having down there. Get to be on the back of a big boat and watch the sunset, like you said, and having lobster and clams and oysters and beer and wine. And, it's a pretty cool experience, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And Red Rooster 3, give their office a call. Their website is Red Rooster 3, the number 3, .com. And you want to talk to Maria tomorrow morning, and she'll fill you in more on those great trips. LabWorks is calling your bluff here, man. All right, here we go. Sam, you come to Australia, I'll take you jigging for yellowtail and shore-based popping for them. And I will let you use the custom sticks I build.
There you go.
Man, hey, count me in
awesome.
on that one, LabWorks. That sounds so
That'd
cool.
be so awesome.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I seen some of the videos too. Them catching them off the rocks and stuff off the beach. That's another one too. And these are big yellows. They're kingfish they call them, but big fish. 30, 40 pounders, 50 pounders. That's it's just incredible, So it just seems like if we had that kind of fishery here, it'd be, I don't know, man, it'd be crazy. People would be doing it nonstop every day.
Hey, LabWorks, by the way, send me a message somehow, somewhere. And the next time you're out doing that, let's do a live.
Oh yeah,
That would be bitchin', wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do something live.
Yeah, if you got like a tripod or something, you can set a camera on,
Yeah.
and talk about the fishing that they do there and stuff like that, and maybe even catch one on live.
Oh
would be
my
awesome.
God, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Chris Navarro, Sam, I was installing a Shimano handle on a Speedmaster 25 and broke the plastic part that holds the switch and little spring. It didn't line up, and I over tightened it. Do you have that part?
No, Chris, you got to buy a whole nother reel.
There you go,
I'm
Chris.
just kidding. I'm pretty sure we have it here. If not, we can order it. It comes pretty quick, but I think we have them here. So come on down or give me a call tomorrow, and I'll look over there, see if we have one. If not, I'll order you one up.
Shant Sarkisian busted the two of us, although we're not doing it anymore, but he could see in the reflection that we were actually watching the Monday night game. No, we were paying total attention to you. Oh, yeah. Here it goes.
Thanks for reminding me, Sean. I can put it back on.
Yeah, what is the score? Anyway, hey, that's funny, man. And if he saw it, so did everybody. Yeah, you're looking back there? Oh, I can see it.
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah. All right, busted. Naughty boy 78. Hey, guys, big fan. We're big fan of yours, too. See you here all the time. Deeply appreciate it. What kind of weights do you prefer, cannonball or torpedo? When and why? Great question. Thank you.
Yeah. So, down here we're using mostly the torpedoes by and large. That's just what's available. And you can get them in sizes that are real small or real big. I think that cannonball is something that you'll find. Maybe the smallest one might be an 8 ounce or something like that. But down here, it's real common for guys to use 6 ounce, 4 ounce, 3 ounce. So that's what you're going to find more of. The other reason too is that the torpedoes being longer, most of us are going to take our gear in a tackle tray. Those balls being round won't fit inside a Plano box or something like that. So you couldn't really take a whole lot of that kind of stuff on a half-day boat or overnight boat or something like that. So that's going to be the main reason. As far as how you're using them, though, I know that some of the guys that halibut fish, they drift fish and do that bounce balling type stuff. They use a ball weight. And so that's probably the only time where I would say you might prefer it, but it's not absolutely necessary. You could probably use a torpedo stinger just the same, but by and large, you're going to be using torpedo stingers down here. Only if not only for just the storage of them, that's going to be the way to go.
All right, good stuff. By the way, we were in Ensenada. One of our missions was to move a lot of clothing and stuff that has been donated. And so we moved a ton of stuff down there, snuck it through Tecate.
Got it.
Yeah, we made it. And then when I hooked up with Diego, I was saying, hey, do you have a family in mind? And I was thinking just one family this first time, and we'll store the rest of the stuff. He goes, how about we go to this really poor barrio? We just drive around and look for somebody that needs help. And I'm like, all right, perfect, good. You know, we came right in, and then you look over to the side, very poor house, and a nice old gentleman there who was the salt of the earth, man. I still like feel something with him really fast. And then the woman that was living there. And so we went all around that place and delivered stuff and gave people stuff, and it was really great. Yeah, it was very rewarding.
Awesome.
Once again, what the priest said, they're going to do way more for you than you're going to do for them. Same thing. Same exact thing. So good stuff. All right, Fish with Ish. Sam, do you have any rod holders for the SBK tackle box?
SKB.
Yeah.
So, we have actually in stock, we have the ones that SKB makes for their tackle boxes. So, yeah, we have those in stock here, no problem. I think there's a guy who used to make some of these kind of taller, call it fancier rod holders for those SKB boxes. They're kind of a custom deal, but as far as anything that you can buy ready-made, I think the SKB ones already come with the holes already drilled out. They come with the hardware you need to install them on your SKB box. So if you need something like that, we got it here.
All right, very good. Isaac is here with us. Isaac, good to see you. Good evening, gentlemen. Coming to the show late, better late than never. Good to see you. Worm King Swim Baits. That's my buddy Fish. Have you ever, oh, hey, Fish, I'll have that information for you tomorrow. I got no sleep today, so I'm all screwed up. Well, Worm King Swim Baits. Hey, have you guys ever used an Abu Garcia Ambassador for surf fishing?
I haven't, and I think for...
That's a level wind, right?
Yeah. Little.
They'll work.
Yeah, I mean... So I haven't, but I'm doing mostly lure fishing. You know, these things are so light. We're talking about these lucky crafts. You know, they just don't cast as far as you do with the spinning reel. But on the other side of it, for bait fishing, so bait fishing corbina, yellowfin croaker, and perch, you know, you can use a heavier weight, and you can use even a half-ounce weight if you wanted, and you can cast that plenty far to fish in the surf. So if you have that reel already, a rod and reel, and for that kind of surf fishing, because you do have the weight, you don't really need a long rod. You can get away with a 7-foot rod or even a 6-foot rod. It wouldn't matter. So yeah, that would work fine for surf fishing, but it really would be more limited to that bait and weight style fishing where you're fishing mussel or
clams
shrimp or clams or something like that. You know, so that's where I would kind of say that would be okay for that.
All right, very good. Isaac sends us $20.
You're amazing.
Isaac Parcell, he says, we're amazing. You're amazing, man. Thank you very, very much. It means a lot to us. Maybe I won't go back to China and teach, man. I'm
good tonight, yeah.
Yeah, really. David Alcantar. Hey, good evening, fellas. Excuse me. Sitting down to eat a bowl of pokey. Man, that sounds good. Shout out to Loki Pokey in Riverside.
Awesome.
All right. That sounds like a good place. We shout them out also. I'm going on a half day tomorrow. What do you recommend for targeting the sand bass or sculpin? Hey, David, where are you going, by the way? But, go ahead, Sam. Mostly leadhead and squid?
Yeah, leadhead and squid. You're going to be into your, 1 to 3 ounce leadheads is going to be your common deal for the sand bass. On the sculpin, it's basically going to be a double dropper loop. And you could go with just straight squid on those. But a lot of the boats are going to have you use a small leadhead and a small plastic. Let me kind of show them what that is.
Yeah, please do. I'll hit them up with some stuff that we have coming up. Once again, go back, watch the Red Rooster live show with Andy Cates, and give Maria a call at the Red Rooster office if you'd like to get on that trip, those Riviera cruises, April 4th through the 9th. We're on board the Independence. You're not going to want to miss that one. 5 days. It's going to be great. Could be white sea bass, halibut, could be bluefin tuna, could be tons of rockfish. It's going to be great. Independent sport fishing. By the way, those guys, Paul Strasser, Mark Paisano, the guys who own the boat, the guys that were in the reveal video with Desiree Rodriguez, the little girl they found drifting at sea for 24 hours. By the way, if you've never watched that podcast, you owe it to yourself to watch it. But Mark and Paul will be at the Bart Hall show in Long Beach. Go by and say hi, and you can sign up for that 5-day trip with them right then. And next Sunday, January 21st, we're going to be at La Fogata with our dear friend Sean Sarkisian, who's busting us with the game back there in the window. Not nice. You should join us 1 to 3 in the afternoon. Take it away, Sam.
All right. So for those sand bass here's those banana heads here. They're so common. This is actually a 2.5 ouncer there, and that's the banana head. Really common. But also too is this Gitsum head. This is actually a smaller one, but they make it in also like a 2 ounce, 3 ounce as well. And that'd be for your lead head and squid option. That's going to be just trying right to the end of your line, 30, 40 pound leader, and just put a whole squid right on there. You're going to be bouncing that on the bottom.
And the banana head is for what?
Both of those are going to be for sand bass.
Okay.
Sand bass fishing.
And what's the difference?
You know, the Gitsum head has a little bit longer shank. So some guys like that so they can double, triple hook their squid on there.
Okay.
Especially if there's a lot of, you know, smaller fish down below that are kind of picking it off your hook. Then you might go to that other one and it'll stay on your hook a little bit better. On the sculpin, you're basically going to be using a small lead head. These are 1/4 ounce here. I actually like these boxer heads a lot. They are from VMC. Yeah, nice little heads here. They have a lot, like kind of a larger keeper and a nice size hook. And you're going to use them right in conjunction with one of these guys here. So you're just going to thread that right on there, and you'll put a piece of squid on there. But you know, you don't have to use this tiny, small size 1/4 ounce. You could use probably up to like a 3/8 ounce and maybe even a 1/2 ounce. It'll probably be a little bit on the heavy side. But you're going to use that, a double dropper loop. You have 2 of them tied on, and then you'll have like a 6 ounce sinker at the bottom. So you have 2 of these. And the whole idea with this is that, first of all, you have a nice long shank hook. And then also, too, as you're bouncing it around, it's going to get a little bit of action with that plastic so that you'll have that. And then you'll still put some squid even on that plastic here. And anything like in a yellow or pink or red, like that works good. In fact, I've seen just about every color work. Root beer, I mean, I don't think there's I think they just like seeing a larger presentation. So that's going to be your 2 things that I would recommend.
That is excellent information, and best of luck on that trip for sure. David.
Also one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, one more too. Sorry to interrupt, but also the you know, like your Colt Snipers, the Econo style jigs. That's one that I use quite a bit as well. When I just remembered, and I use that just straight tied with like 25-pound test, and I bounce that on the bottom. And a lot of times I'll get a larger sculpin that way. So that's might be kind of a little bit of something to put in your back pocket to try to get that jackpot.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Steve P wants to know what time we're having wings. I guess he's trying to make the decision.
Come on
here
down,
for
Mr.
us.
Puckett.
Is this where is this place? Right across the street or something?
Yeah, right across
Can
the
you
street.
walk to it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we could walk there too.
All right, I kind of want to try something
try
new.
something
But,
new? All right.
is this guy coming for the wings, and we don't want to screw
Mr.
him?
Puckett, I don't know. He'll never come.
Oh, wait a minute. He came last week.
He's not going to come.
He's going to come.
2 weeks in a row? Come on,
I don't know,
Steve.
Steve. Are you good?
I don't know, man.
Are you okay with the dog place? Do they have hot dogs?
They have hot dogs. They're like gourmet. It's really good.
Oh, that's out of my league.
Yeah, it's gourmet.
Do they have like a chili dog?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
let's go to the dog place.
Yeah.
You got me off my carnivore. One more day.
One more
day. Screwing me all up here. Steve, we're going to the dog place. What's the name of it?
Doghouse.
Doghouse. We'll be over there at 7:30, 7:45.
7:45.
I don't know. Ever since I said there's no questions, there's
I know.
500,000 questions. All right.
Come on down, man.
Come on down, and everybody else for that matter. Albert Ponce. Hey, Albert, I sent you a message the other day, and it wouldn't go through, so I don't know what I was doing wrong. Good evening, Phil and Sam and Friedman Adventure family. Albert, I miss you, Crystal, and the kids. Hope you're doing well, my friend. I really, really do. Mackie, what pound line would be good for throwing a Lucky Craft locally? Braid? So I fish braid and 20 pound.
Yeah.
I know guys that fish a little much lighter, but I don't like, it's a Lucky Craft or it's $20. I don't feel like they don't buy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right?
It seems like, if it was straight mono, you could probably fish them with like 6 pound and it'll work just fine. The problem with it, it's not really about getting a bite or not. The problem is you snack some kelp and there goes your Lucky Craft. So a lot of guys will fish 20-pound braid and they'll maybe use a leader. If they use a leader, they'll put a leader of like 15 pound or something like that, 12 pound, maybe even 10 pound at the lightest. But those halibut are pretty aggressive. They're kind of more of a reaction bite, and so they'll bite the heavier line. But really, it's not because you're trying to catch a big fish. It's really more because you might snack some kelp, and it just gives you a better chance of retrieving your lure. Those things are $20, $22. So I think that's the reason people go with that. It doesn't seem like it really stops the fish from biting.
I don't think so, right?
It doesn't seem like it, at least.
Yeah, and those guys were. I asked that kid that was with Diego down in Baja. He goes, "It was full speed on the lucky crabs."
Full speed, yeah.
And those are those big ones usually when they're
that's
starting
pretty
to bite
awesome.
that.
I saw those pictures, man. Those things are giant.
Dude,
Yeah.
that was so cool when I saw that, and I'm like, I know Nacho, but I I was going to try to reach out to him. And all of a sudden, the guy that's in the video shows up for breakfast with us, and it's like,
How'd you get the picture?
I go through all the stuff I do my research, for a couple hours, and I'm grabbing videos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Someone didn't send you the picture.
No.
So it was even more random.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Totally. I was just like, oh, hey, man, look
I
at
thought maybe
perch.
Diego sent it to you or something like that.
No, it was totally random.
That's
It was
pretty
bitching.
cool.
Yeah, all right. Patrick Harnchak's had enough. He goes, can we see what's in the box, please, Sam? I know it's a nice phone holder, but we want to see the accurate 600. Let's see it, man. Oh, there's nothing in there. What happened? There it is.
There it is, yeah.
Patrick and everybody for that matter.
So that 600, besides being a great phone holder, is kind of a cool size reel. It's kind of a big small reel or a small big reel, however you want to call it. It's kind of an in between size, kind of a catch size. It's definitely going to be bigger than you would normally use on even like on a half day, 3/4 day boat. Although you never know, but definitely something you would use on a long range boat. This reel here, you can fish 60-pound, no problem, and it's a relatively small reel. It's smaller than the other reels that you would do that with, but with the drag that it has, you can fish 80-pound. I mean,
really?
Yeah, it's got a ton of drag, and these things are so smooth. It's a 2-speed reel, and the 600 size has like a 2-to-1 low gear, so it gives it a lot of torque. I actually fish a couple of accurates in the 600 size, and it's got tons of 100-pound tuna on it. I like them a lot because they're a little bit smaller form factor than the other 60-pound reels that I fish. So it's a cool size reel. So we'll leave it up here for the rest of the show.
All right, perfect. Steve Puckett says he's about to raffle it off in the free raffle. How do you like that? And Chris Navarro, $20.
Oh, he's
Chris.
Uh-oh.
You're number one, man. He says Steve Puckett might meet you guys for dinner.
Oh, come on now.
He growls if you look at his plate. I've noticed that the last time
now
he was
Chris
over.
is threatening to come down.
Oh my God, come on, Chris.
Chris is a cool dude.
Do it. Is he?
Yeah.
I can tell, man. Thank you, Chris.
My first trip I ever took on the Royal Star, Chris was actually nice enough. I hooked him up with some gear, that he needed. And he paid for my trip,
Really?
Yeah. So we did a little bit of an exchange for gear for the trip, but I ended up making out. I mean, it was stuff that I didn't need, but he needed, and he went fishing with me on that trip. It was our first trip on the Royal Star. Had an awesome trip. Both of us did, and it kind of started a relationship for me and the Royal Star. I mean, and me and Chris.
Not you and Chris, right?
Yeah, no.
Screw that.
But me and Chris have been fishing on a lot of trips together. He's a great dude, and so I say thank you, Chris, and thank you again tonight. And
thank you.
Hopefully you can come down.
That would be great, Chris. I would love to say hello. If not tonight, in the near future. Are we doing this next Monday? Are you gonna have time?
We'll see, maybe. Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna be loading our truck, so
On Monday?
Monday. Yeah, because we're starting to.
That's gonna be tough for you then, or
Yeah,
you think you can pull it off? We'll
maybe. It might be actually perfect timing because usually by this time we're done
Okay.
loading the truck. So
Yeah.
but
Are
we'll
you gonna
have
be
to see.
beat though, or?
Not
We'll figure it
As long as
out.
my shoulder's okay, man. Let's hope this shit goes away.
All right. Hey, Chris, thank you for your kindness and generosity. Deeply appreciated. What's the name of this place? Big Dog?
Doghouse.
Doghouse.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm having trouble with that.
Yeah.
Casa de los Perros.
Casa de los Perros.
All right, I'm going to have a chili dog with jalapenos y cebolla. Do they have something like that? I'm sure they do. They got Chicago dogs and all that stuff?
Yeah. It's good.
Dude, I'm going to blow everything tonight. Steve says, see how I lured Breadman into buying us dinner. Keep that up,
That's
man.
Chris, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Hey, Labworks in Australia. You have my email address. Okay. I was the one chatting with Loomis about trying to stop the potato cod. Okay, very good. Hopefully I have your name there and everything else, but if you'd be so kind as to send me another email, I can look at that tomorrow. That would be fantastic. Thank you so much. We've been micro jigging PE2 for 30-pound plus specimens.
Jeez.
How's that sound, Sam?
Yeah. Although, I mean, the jigging stuff, I'd be into any kind of fishing. I'd really want to go down there with the surface iron and catch them on the surface iron. That's what I want to do. I mean, I know that they catch them on poppers, and I'd want to do that too. But man, if one day, if they ever came that I was going to go down there, I'd want to catch them on some local surface iron. That'd be cool.
God, yes,
Yeah.
right? That would be so cool.
Yeah, it'd just be one of those things that I can do that no one here has locally that I know. And so that sometimes that's just cool to do things that's hard to do.
I've got some great interviews. I'm going to have to subtitle them because some of the guys, I was walking down the Malecon in Ensenada and a Mexican kid comes up to me. Kid to me is 30 and goes, Friedman Adventures. And I go, hey, thank you. And he goes, yeah, I watch you all the time. He's talking to me in Spanish. He runs a boat called the Horse. It's a little 6-pack, bitchin' little boat. And he goes, man, look at this grill. We'll grill you carne asada. We'll cook fish out there. And it was like 6 guys for bluefin tuna. It's like $1,200.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then
yeah.
he took us over and showed me his ponga, which is 26 feet, fishes 4.
Super ponga, yeah.
And they fish bluefin. Oh, man, I don't want to get these prices screwed up. 4 guys, $700 for bluefin.
Wow.
It's a great price.
That's cool, man. Those guys
seem
are
like a really cool guy.
Yeah.
And his dad used to call him caballito or something like that, so he calls his boat caballo in Spanish is horse. And a cool, super good guy.
It's a thoroughbred.
Thoroughbred! Yeah, you can play the horses over there at San Nicolas.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do that, though. I don't go near those sports books. Anyway, good stuff, LabWorks. Very, very good. Martin M. Martin, good to see you. And he'll be fishing on the Native Sun, and that they're putting together one heck of a great tournament. They're going to do Wednesday through Sunday, I believe. Thousands of dollars of prizes available, daily prizes. Martin wants to know what your tackle recommendations for the upcoming halibut and bass derby aboard the Native Sun are. What do you say?
So,
is it kind of some of this stuff? For the bass.
For the bass, maybe, yeah. Especially that sand bass. That's probably going to be the larger of the bass that they catch. For the halibut, you're going to be probably doing a drifting style thing, and maybe 25-pound line, a 7 to 8 foot rod, nothing really specific as far as that. It's going to be more your tackle. You're going to want to have a variety of weight sizes, hook sizes, and fluorocarbon 20 to 25-pound test probably going to be the deal on the drifting for the halibut. On the bass, I mean, I'd fish heavy line. You're trying to catch one big fish, and so you want to be able to fish 30, 40-pound leader for those bass. So you're going to be fishing structure this whole springtime.
Very good. Let's see. Naughty Boy 78 wants to know if Danny Kadota will be going to the meet and greet at La Fogata. I haven't asked Danny only because his father passed away here recently, so I've been giving him a little bit of space. Danny's invited to absolutely everything we do. So I'm glad you reminded me I need to reach out to him tomorrow if he's not watching this tonight and make sure that he knows he's part of absolutely everything we do. So definitely, thank you for reminding me, and I'm pretty sure he'll be there. That would be great. Red Pill, Phil, good evening, gentlemen. Great show as always. As a hypothetical, how would you rig someone up if they wanted to have their own kite set up?
So thinking that you're talking about taking a kite rod and reel to fish, maybe on a sport boat and using not your own kite, but their kite, but your kite bait rig, so to speak, what you're going to fly a flyer with. Any heavy rail rod, that you're using already, 7.5 foot, rated 60 to 130, 80 to 130, something like that. And a size 50 reel. You want a reel that has a little bit extra line on it, because fishing the kite, you're going to have some extra line out to begin with. So that's going to be the deal. You want to have it loaded with probably about 130-pound braid, or maybe that 150-pound Power Pro, something like that. And you want to have at least 750 yards, which is what normally would fit on a size 50 reel. So that's the way I'd be setting up for the kite rod. And I'm assuming that you're going on a sport boat and are not talking about the other rod, which is going to be the one that you need to fly the kite with. That's kind of something not as specific. But for your kite rod that you're going to be trying to try to fish with, it'd be at least a size 50. If you have a 50 wide, that'd be okay, but I'd probably start out with a 50. But even if you had maybe a 30 wide might still be all right. A 30 wide probably be the smallest I would go, but a 50 is usually about the right size.
All right, good stuff. Jeremy Fontenot says, good evening, Phil and Sam. Forgot it was Monday. Went kayak fishing with my son for the first time today at Lake Murray, San Diego. I got skunked, but my boy got a nice largemouth, and that's all that matters, right, when you take your kids fishing?
Heck yeah.
I saw that photo, Jeremy. It's great, and I will be posting on Morning Briefing tomorrow for sure. But yeah, when you take your kids fishing,
It's nothing better.
it's about
yeah.
them catching it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. I tell you, man, that first trip to Baja with my kids, yeah, that's all I wanted to see them pulling on fish. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was so bitching.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I knew they were hooked since they were, 2 years old. But all right, Greg Bates. Greg was down there. He was our expert cameraman down there. I'm going to kill him on some of the stuff he shot. But I'm just kidding, Greg. So his comment is so.
So
Yeah, so. And then spot on, Sam.
you got it.
Yeah. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Yeah. And now he's getting after me because he was getting after me down there. He said, you already had a cheat day. Yeah, because, man, I saw that hamburger. I go, screw it. And then I'm eating chips. I'm just going off the deep end. And then at the end of our dinner last night at La Guarita, Tony looks at me and goes, do you want a flan? And I'm like, nah, I shouldn't do it. Okay. Yeah. So, Greg, I'm just rolling through MLK Day, and then I'm done. Back to it tomorrow. Actually, I've been eating carnivore all day, but here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah. Over to the hot dog joint. I've forgotten the name of the hot dog. Don't tell me. What the hell
La
is that?
Casa del Perro.
Casa de Perro, a doghouse.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Man, I'm out of it, huh? All right, 540 Slinger. That is our buddy Jeff Yeomans. Thank you for your service, Jeff, United States Navy. Good evening, Phil, Sam, and the Friedman Adventures family. Chris Navarro says, I'll meet you two next week for dinner
See?
after the
Cutting
show.
out. He's cutting out.
But Chris sent $20.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, shoot. All right, sounds good, Chris. After the show. So we're going to have dinner after one of these shows,
Well,
after
Chris,
the other show.
If you come
Got
on
it.
down next week, next 2 weeks, two next week. Oh yeah, he's gonna come down. He'll come down and meet us next week. Come down, help us load the truck. Make sure we get done.
Chris,
on time.
what a deal.
Yeah, make sure we get done on time, Chris, and definitely get down there.
Chris, if it comes between sending $20 and helping him load the truck, send the $20. Screw him with that. Jack Sepulveda is a super good guy. Love you, Jack. Hope you're doing good. Good evening, Phil and Sam. Do you know of any beginning rod classes here locally in Los Angeles, California?
I don't. I've been asked a lot of times about
You gotta
doing
start one.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where we got to figure out maybe somebody to help me do that here in the shop, because it's just kind of extra time that it's just hard to do, for me. But yeah.
Believe me, I know.
And so I hate committing to something that I'm not going to do right. But yeah, maybe we'll work something out this year. I know that's something we should be doing.
Yeah, I got a ton of content. Like I said, I've got to put it with the subtitles because I did a lot of stuff in Spanish down there. That friggin' hamburger, though, I did actually film that.
Oh, really?
Can't wait to post that. Man, dude, I don't think it'd be the same if I heat it up. I'd love to buy you one and bring it to you. It was just friggin' one of the best things. Okay. I know. You're like, this dude is nuts about this.
I know, man.
Surf and Turf Burger, San Nicolas. Don't miss La Guarita if you go to Rosarita Beach. Say hi to my friend Tony Lozano. All right, Fish with Ish. Sam, what do you think about the Phoenix Axis 25 to 60 with the Tranks 400 for my light tuna setup? Fish with Ish, good to see you.
Yeah, that's fine. Both that rod and that reel, I've caught actually a bunch of tuna on. Not together. I usually like my Tranks on a kind of a rod that has a trigger on it because you're gonna hold the reel a different way. But as far as the makeup of the rod and kind of what it's able to handle, that'll work just fine. Yeah. But if you could find maybe something that has a trigger on it, at least for me, I like the feeling of it. But as far as the capability, that rod's perfect, and so is the reel.
All right, good stuff. Man, I tell you, part of the whole reason why I got home so late, like at 3 o'clock in the morning or anything, you get in that frickin' borderline and you're backed up into actually, when we were driving to the border, I go, hey, it's MLK.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to go home tomorrow. And when we're driving out, we left Tony's place like at 8:30 because the border, you kept looking and it kept going down and down. And there's nobody on the road. And usually, there's tons of traffic heading to the border. I go, Greg, this is great, man. We're good. We end up in this freaking line and you don't move. And we were there for 2 hours, and then we finally got up and I go, this is going to be like 5 hours. But when we got around the corner, we could see they had so many gates open, which is something that hasn't been happening lately. And it was like 20 more minutes and we were out of there. But we got home. I was so tired. I just I gave Greg Bates the rest of my coffee and said, good luck, I didn't even call him to see if he made it home. I passed out, I was done. So sometimes, but man, that borderline sometimes a pain in the you know what.
It's the
I
way
know
it's
I'm
always
whining.
been.
You're not even interested in what I'm whining. Let me whine.
Cry baby.
All right, Tyler Tanaka, Turbo T2. Hey Sam, can you list the winter reel maintenance things we should take care of before our fishing trips of 2024? That, Tyler, is an excellent question.
So that's a tough one, because every reel is going to have a different amount of use on it, and since we don't really have a mileage marker to say, after this many miles you got to do this or that, I would say the biggest thing on the reels is, if it sits for a month, if you first pick it up and the handle just turns fine, that's going to be probably fine for the year. I wouldn't really worry about that. So take a look at that, and you'll find sometimes it'll be rough or tight for like a couple turns, and then it'll free up. Usually that means your side plate bearing is starting to go bad. So there's a bearing that sits right underneath the preset on your drag, and there's a bearing right inside the side plate there. That if it starts to do that, you're still probably fine, for the season. But if you wanted to start kind of addressing something that's starting to come up, that'd be it. Also, you check a free spool. You basically take it out of gear. If a free spool's fine, I wouldn't mess with it at all. If it's starting to be a little bit slower or not spin as long as it normally does, then you take care of your spool bearings. Other than that, these reels, there's really not a whole lot inside that you have to kind of maintenance as far as that, although seeing as you mentioned that it's cold over there where you're at, if your reels are sitting in some super cold garage or something like that, I'm not really sure, but I wonder if that'll do something to the grease and maybe do that to where maybe it's getting coagulated inside the gears or the bearings or something like that. That's one thing I'm not really sure of, but in your case, that's a little bit different than most other people. But those two things, turning the handle as long as if it turns free and it doesn't feel rough or tight, and then the free spool. If those two things are working just fine, to be honest with you, I wouldn't really mess with too much else. The other thing I would do that's not really maintenance related for the reel itself, but maybe more the line, the spectra, especially on the larger reels. So reels of maybe this size or bigger that hold more than, let's say, 500 or 600 yards of 80-pound or even 65-pound, but definitely your larger reels like your internationals. If you had a reel that you got a fish that took a lot of line, and maybe you were down past halfway on your line, and you brought that back up, wouldn't be so much a wintertime thing, but maybe something you might consider doing it right when you get back from a trip and you're not going to go fishing for a while, is take the line off your reel. Let it dry off of the reel. One of the things that happens a lot of times is that the line will start to evaporate, off the reel, but it'll evaporate the least or the slowest at the top of your reel, because that's where all the moisture is coming out of. So that top of the reel or the line is moist the longest. And depending on how much water you had on there, even if you bring it home and you rinse it, obviously your line's going to be wet and there's going to be salt on it, salt water, is that sometimes you'll get a little bit of corrosion on your spool. And so it doesn't really affect the performance of your reel. It's kind of more of a cosmetic thing, but we don't want any kind of corrosion on our reels. So
Right.
If you have a bigger reel, that might be something you might consider doing. But other than that,
There's got to be a right way and a wrong way to take the line off your reel, right?
well, definitely putting it on is the bigger deal. Taking it off, you can use a drill or something like that. In fact, there's a company called Swifty that makes these cage-looking things here that you can use to take off of the line off. I should show you how to use those. We could probably do a video on that.
We should. That'd be cool.
But that's kind of a way to kind of more wash your line. But the line washing isn't probably as big a deal as just preserving your spool. But once again, that's really something that probably affects more the larger reels, because there's just more line and it holds more water. But past that, do those other two things, I think you'll be all right.
Swifties, those are the people that follow, what's her name? Taylor Swift?
Yeah.
Right?
Just look her up. I'm sure she'll help you out.
Yeah, right. Yeah. She's the one. I never knew she had a real business, and in addition to everything else she's
fishes
doing.
Hardcore, yeah.
Man, no wonder she's a billionaire. She's all over it. The Swifties. All right. Let's see. Naughty Boy 78. I used a buzz flasher for halibut behind the Channel Islands and had an edge on everybody else. They use them a lot up north. You know what is it?
They're just a small flasher, like the salmon flasher. But
yeah. And you fish halibut with those things too?
Yeah, it's kind of a
probably.
bounce ball type thing. Yeah, you set up a leader with that thing, and
It seems like it makes sense.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to draw attention to the
Right.
bait, right? Yeah, perfect. Great tip there. Thank you. Got a 200-pounder on the kite on the Pacific Dawn last summer. Thanks, Charlie and Aiden.
lifetime fish right there.
Yeah, that is, man. That's a beautiful fish. And Pacific Dawn, they do a great job. Dan Smith, Sam, just tell Phil the place is called the Dog Bone. Yeah, I can remember that easier, Dan. It's the Dog Bone we're going to,
Bone,
right? Okay, perfect. Jeremy says, I'm happy for my son catching a fish, but I wanted one too. Oh, well, maybe next time. Yeah, for sure. Got it. Fish with this. Do you have any recommendations for rod with trigger for the Trans 400?
The United Composites, they have that swim bait Fanatic in the heavy. That's the one I like using. I had a lot of good luck with that. Phoenix rods, they have that 72 heavy or 79 heavy. I think that is. Yeah, 79 heavy. That's a pretty good one. I think in the Terramar, you get into that 8-foot heavy. So there's quite a few out there. You're gonna stick with probably the heavier of the offerings for all those for a reel that size. But even Akuma, they have one. I mean, I think Daiwa makes a Proteus heavy as well in an 8-foot. So yeah, check all those out in an 8-foot. And a lot of them are pretty similar. What you're going to notice a difference on is maybe the way that the handle pieces are made out of. And so you might find one more comfortable than the other. But essentially, they're all pretty similar.
All right, hit that like button, please. We would sincerely appreciate you doing that, and thank you all for joining us here this evening. Albert Ponce, hey, Phil, I wish I knew you were in Rosarito. We were there for the weekend. I just came back this afternoon. We've got to go again. Yeah, Albert, that's the reason I sent you a text, but for some reason it wouldn't go through. It kept saying, I don't know what it said, but it said it wouldn't go through, basically. So, yeah, definitely, Albert. Miss you guys very, very much. Fish, Worm King, swim baits. Fish has got all kinds of great stuff coming out here. He wants to go to Mexico with us soon. So let's see. Diego is going back to the Royal Star February 2nd. When does the show's over? The 28th?
No, January 28th.
January. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
he'd be able to come to the show if it's February 2nd.
Could you go like the 30th of January?
No.
The 31st?
No.
You're too screwed up with.
Yeah.
All right. We'll figure this out. Wait a minute.
Well,
what am I worried about Sam for?
If you come down on the 28th, to help us break down, and then the 29th to help us put the store back together.
Yeah.
Work for 24 hours both days.
Yeah.
We still won't make it.
Oh, I wasn't going to volunteer anyway. Yeah. I was just going along with you there for a second. All right. Perfect. Sam's not coming, but we got to get you down there for sure. Worm King Baits Fish. We'll do that. Andrew Deal. Love the guy, man. I haven't seen that. Hey, Andrew, your tuna print that you won at the Christmas party, I actually have it down at 22nd Street Land. It's beautiful. Really, really, really beautiful. You're going to love it. Andrew and Isabel say hi. Isabel's a great kid, great student. And Andrew says, great show.
Did Joe come pick up all that stuff? He won like 4 or 5 things after.
Yeah, no, I got all that stuff for him. Yeah, I hope I do at least. Who knows?
Joe Martinez, you won a rod, a reel?
Yeah, you won
a bunch of lures,
$500,000 worth of something else.
Couple 5-day trips, man. You just had to be there.
Yeah, I gave it all to Scott Buchert, actually. It's got to be sent us $30.
Yeah, he's fishing right now on one of those.
Yeah, right. We don't have another question, so I don't know, man. If you want to go to the doghouse or, I can bring.
We got so much time, we can go to both.
Yeah. Oh my God. Here we go. I'm going down the drain here, Greg. You better get here and stop all this nonsense. That's for sure.
Steve Puckett, you coming or what?
Yeah. Who's coming? Are we going to the doghouse?
It's up to you. Yeah.
You say it's good, right?
It's good.
Yeah. What's the go-to thing?
I actually have a burger there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's called Hangover Burger.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty dang good. Pretty dang good.
All right.
It won't be as good as your burger, so I'm not sure anymore.
Oh my God, that thing, man! San Nicolas, you got to try it. Let's just mention. I hope we don't. Well, I hope we do get another 500,000 questions because long range fishing's been remarkable. Andy was saying in that interview I did with him today, lots of 70 to 90 pounders. Not seeing that 200 to 300 pound grade fish yet, but high hopes that they're going to see it. And then he said he got into a drift on the Potato Bank. and it was straight 25 to 45 pound flatheads, big Dorado,
Hmm.
all you want. He said it was a remarkable bite on that. And of course, all those guys had some who. I saw that the Independents, they actually had a pretty good go around, recently on the 120 to 200 pound yellowfin.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing. Yeah, that
so-
Dorado's been there since like October or something.
I
like
know, right?
that. Yeah, the potato bag.
Everybody's
yeah.
been going there and just,
Big ones, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, a whole bunch of big ones.
25 to 40, a 45 pound flathead's a nice one.
And they're catching like a limit of them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. And then Cabo San Lucas, we still have some striped marlin biting down there in that neck of the woods. Sean Morgan, I haven't seen him. Sometimes Sean pokes his head up and he's full speed with the stuff coming in, the information, then he disappears. So
Yeah.
I have no idea what he's doing. Sean Morgan on the wild insect. All right, here we go. A couple more questions, and we're heading to the doghouse, baby. My reels, and this is Tyler Tanaka, are all indoor pets. Good info, thank you. The Swifty tool is exactly what I was looking for to dry line. It's
Pain.
yeah, it's a pain using a donor reel or plastic line stripping tool. When are we going to do that, Sam? Tomorrow? Do you have those things here?
I might have one around here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do it.
Someday.
Yeah, we'll do it someday. Exactly. Anything else? Are you doing any? Are your specials all for the show at this point?
Yeah.
You're not trying to get anybody. Yeah.
No, but I will say we saw some cool things today. I think they're not going to be available into the PCS show as far as what I saw, but
New products?
yeah.
Oh, why did you save that to the end of the show?
I know. Well, I don't have one here, so they haven't come in.
What is it?
So it's going to be a Alexa 500. So Alexa 500. I mean, I don't think there's any kind of like we're not supposed to talk about it type of thing, but they brought it down to show me. It's a pretty cool reel. It's a pretty good price. It's $100 less than the Tranks 500.
Really?
Yeah. So that's going to be a big deal right there.
You're not sure it's going to be available at the show?
Well, they told me it was going to be available for the PCS show.
Oh, okay.
I'm just not sure if they wanted us talking about it, but they didn't say.
Too bad.
Didn't say not to. So
Yeah, right
I'm
on.
talking about it.
Breaking news.
The cool thing about it is we kind of looked at it two ways. On the one side, it's basically a wide 400. It's a wide 400 that they beefed up the drag on. It's what they did. But it looks like to me that there's a lot of the same parts as the 400. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. That's probably one of the reasons why the price is so good. On the other hand, I've never seen the 400 underperform, except for the fact that maybe sometimes you can use a little bit more line on the reel, and that reel definitely will hold more line. It looks like it holds the same amount of line as the Tranks 500, and that's really what we've been looking for, So I'd say look out for it at the show. We ordered a bunch of them. That's why the rep actually came in today, so we can put an order together for the show. And so I'm really looking forward to getting those in. I know they're going to be hot. And also they're offered in left hand, which the Tranks 500 isn't offered in left hand. So that's also a cool thing. So all you guys, the left-handers that have been wanting a larger bait caster, it's coming.
When you start telling all your friends on social media about that, make sure you let everybody know that Sam broke the story about the Alexa 500, so you get in trouble.
I know.
And on Friedman Adventures, that's for sure. All right, Chris Navarro. Sam, we opened the door again. Here we go. Sam, I bought a Torre 16 APG. It's a 4 to 6 to 1 gear ratio. Because of the bigger gear, it has 33-pound drag instead of 24-pound.
Mm-hmm.
Is it too slow for poppers? Tuna.
Not really, Chris. For poppers, you're probably fine because you're not really working it really fast. I would say possibly for some stick baits, that you're winding a little bit faster for, or wanted to kind of dance it across the surface. Might be a little slow for that, but poppers, I think you'd be fine. You're not really working a popper that fast. So I think you'll be okay on that. Yeah, but that thing is cool. It's got a big handle too. It's a power gear handle. It's got a big giant jigging handle.
Oh, cool.
And it's got all that drag too. It's a pretty cool reel.
David Alcantar says, "Hoo-yeah, Alexa 500, sign me up. I'll take one." There you go.
I think those things are going to be hot, man. Yeah, I think I ordered 30 of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I mean, I just had a feeling that they're going to be a hot item at the show. So hopefully we'll have them there. If we do, I'm sure they're going to be hot for the price, and people have been looking for them.
Labworks says, "Alexa 500 question
yeah.
mark. What the fudge? I run the 3 and 400."
Yeah, so especially for those guys down there that fish those big yellowtail off the beach there, and I think it's going to be hot down there for that kind of fishing. I think.
All right. Anything else, Sam? I think we're going to
good.
hit
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
We haven't had a show this is less than an hour and a half. That never happens.
never.
We're going to take advantage
Oh,
of it
the
because
game must be good.
I need my beauty rest, by the way.
Yes, you do.
Is it working?
Well, that you need it. Yes,
beauty,
I can
yeah,
tell.
yeah.
I can
Oh.
tell you need it. Yeah.
I love you. All right. Why don't you tell everybody where you're located and
Alrighty.
all that good stuff, and I'll get over here.
So we're at 21809 Avalon Boulevard, City of Carson. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6. Phone number here is 310-707-1205. Just as a note, for next week, we're probably going to be limited as far as our hours, mostly closed, to be honest with you, because we're going to be down there setting up at the show and working the show next week. So if you call down to the shop and don't get an answer or call back, I apologize in advance. But come down and see us at the show, catch a good deal, and we'll hope to see you there.
All right, and to all the wonderful people who sent super chats, we're very generous to Sam and I. Thank you so very, very much. Sam and I deeply, deeply appreciate it. We deeply appreciate meeting so many nice people. I get to meet your customers when they come in, and I love it, Sam.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Got a lot of great people. And happy MLK Day, right?
Yeah.
All right, thanks, everybody. Have a great one. Sam and I love you, and we'll see you for the morning briefing in just a few more hours. Take care, and thanks again.
All right.